What's up guys, how are y'all doing today? Today I want to make a really quick video, and hopefully I'll make it a really quick video about Volkswagen using Tesla batteries for their Electrify America and possibly Electrify Canada charging stations. Yes, this is pretty cool. So before we get started, like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll get right into it. So recently, Volkswagen has actually been seen putting up Tesla power packs, obviously by removing the logo so no one actually suspects that they're actually using Tesla power packs for their Electrify America / Electrify Canada charging stations. For simplicity's sake, I'll just say Electrify America because there's like 1 or 2 charging stations in Canada. Really not a big deal. So the first question is, why do they actually need the charging station as well? To that, I would say that those charging stations output 350 kilowatts and you really only need about just 3 of them to output 1 megawatt of maximum power. That means if a new electric vehicle comes out, all 3 of them pull in at the same time, that station alone could want 1 megawatt of power from the grid, which isn't necessarily a good deal. So these Tesla batteries are just there to like even the load on the grid, and that really helps out. Imagine like a few Porsche Taycans just show up and they're all very low. It's like 4 Porsche Taycans on 4 Electrify America charging stations. They each are taking 260 kilowatts, 270 kilowatts. That's more than a megawatt. And really what you want is maybe a battery to like buffer out the grid. And in some places, like maybe in the middle of nowhere, this might be necessary because even though the wires of the grid might be laid down right next to the highway where the stations are located, what you really want is ideally for the load on the grid to not really be substantial at all, really. So you want to charge the batteries when no car is there, possibly overnight, slow charge them, taking, I don't know, 50 kilowatts for example, and then eventually in the daytime when there's going to be cars going about, you might want to start charging the batteries faster, maybe at 100 kilowatts, but at a constant load. And then when a car shows up, you want to dump all that power directly into the car and then start charging the batteries again once the car leaves, or whatever the case may be. And basically what that's going to do is, from the grid side, you're only requesting 100 kilowatts, but from the battery side, it doesn't really matter. You're just buffering out because it's not like a constant stream of cars that are just going to come and just take a constant amount. It's going to be changing a lot, and 250 kilowatts or more than 250 kilowatts is a lot of power, and that's not really ideal for this type of situation. And especially if you have like a charging network, you really have to be careful about that stuff. Now obviously if you're using a 50 kilowatt charger, that really doesn't matter. Most 50 kilowatt chargers don't really have many stalls. They only have like usually 1 or 2 stalls at most, so that's not really a big drain on the grid. Whereas having a 350 kilowatt charger and having like 5 of them or something, that is a big strain on the grid if like multiple cars pull up at once. It could just be like multiple Teslas pulling up at once, and we've seen this. Some superchargers actually have battery backups, and basically what that is for, obviously you can use that for a backup, or you could just buffer out the grid. You can be a constant stream of energy that you're taking from the grid, charging up the batteries, and then when a car pulls up, you could just dump that energy into the car and then charge up the batteries, the grid storage batteries again. It's much easier and puts much less strain on the grid than you might actually assume, because 150 or anything above that, 200 kilowatts, is a lot of power. For comparison's sake, at least this is what I've actually seen with my air conditioner. I'm going to use an air conditioner example. My air conditioner, when it's running, it only uses just about 2.1 kilowatts, which isn't really a lot compared to how much these cars are going to take when they're charging up their batteries. And normally in the summertime, people say, oh, why are you using your air conditioner? It uses so much energy and stuff. Well, a car is probably going to use a lot more when you're charging an electric car overnight. For example, if you get their Tesla's destination charger or whatever, which have 11 kilowatts of charging, AC charging, that's incredible. These batteries are big batteries that need to be charged really quickly, and for that reason you need these big power packs to buffer out the grid. And it's pretty awesome that Volkswagen is buying batteries from their Dieselgate settlement, paying Tesla for those batteries, and installing them at their Electrify America charging stations. Now, one thing I will say before I end here, the Electrify America charging stations aren't really how do I say this, cheap. Forget cheap, affordable. It's like, it's probably cheaper to fuel up a gas car than to go to these Electrify America charging stations because they are just so expensive. Now, most charging stations like these, they have to get their revenue somehow, and yes, they are very expensive, but something like superchargers, where Tesla has actually thought about this type of thing, they are not actually that much expensive. They're not more expensive than a gas car. They're less than half the price of a comparable gas car driving the same amount or distance or anything. I've actually done a calculation. I think with a Model 3 driving from here in Toronto all the way to Vancouver, which is about 5,000 kilometers, I think that's like 3,000 miles, it would only cost about $100. I think that's Canadian dollars, I'm not entirely sure, but about $100, which would be about $75 American to drive across country. And because I've done this trip, we did it in a van, so obviously that's going to consume more. We got about 18 mpg, whatever that is in liters per 100 kilometers, but basically we spent probably 1,000 or 2,000 in gas, more than that, probably more than that, and the gas price was more expensive there at the time too. So yeah, with Electrify America, you're not really saving that much if you're going across country, but with Teslas you are. Just wanted to say that. Now the video is starting to get longer now, and I'm just gonna end. I'm getting really busy here, so I just wanted to put out a quick video for you guys, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Peace.